This is a test video in this format. I don't know if I like it, if you like it, I don't know. So whatever. What are we trying to say right now is the question that was rising in a group of Mudflow Advanced Research when I posted this video with this so-called soil pie, and it looks like this, as you can see. Um, Soil, the top of it is soil. The the thing is between looks like clay, and below that we also got more darker soil, so it's like a pie. And look here, here we have some fallen clay that is probably wet with the water that comes underneath. If you didn't know that sometimes when you dig a hole or some or trench, groundwater uh, is coming out. So whatever. So the top is the organic, so-called organic, and let me just explain it like this. So this is organic, and organic dies each year, so it's like getting darker and darker and darker and darker. And here we have what we have. This is called soil. In Russian we call it chernozem, or black soil. And clay probably came from the mud flood, during the mud flood. And I never said it was like a flash flood or something, but it could be some different in different areas, different locations, depending on the landscape and stuff like this. But most likely, what we see, and the person actually asked me, nice, very definitely look at the dark, rich, fertile soil covered by a lot of clay and such. Only a lot of water could bring in that much clay from nowhere. Because no, probably this was before, so the clay came, and here is accumulated in this layer, and this is what was after it. So like when the grass started growing again and all this stuff, leaves falling from the trees, and maybe animals and insect die, all this stuff combines in this blackish color of soil. But the only thing that really was not correct is that only a lot of water could bring in that much of clay from nowhere. So I answered uh, answered to Eric, and we had like little discussion. I said like, yes. Uh, by the way, dark mud eruption becomes clay in perfect condition after oxidation. And he said that he was familiar with the flood concept and liquefaction concept, but he will take a look at the volcanic mudflow, and it sounds interesting. How does the soil oxidize? I know iron can, and people do too, right? Does all mineral material oxidize? Well, I'm not a really big chemist, but from what I know and from what we can observe around the mud volcanoes, we see this gray color mud coming out, and I've seen a bunch of mud volcanoes where people just go there to you know enrich themselves with minerals, and so they sink themselves into those mud and rub their mud after it, and so it's like let it dry on themselves and then go to the sea and wash it off, or the lake, whatever. So there's a bunch of these healthy programs with mud and cosmetic programs, and people probably know about it. So it's because mud contains a lot of minerals. Where did it get all those minerals? In these fine particles that can observe through the skin. Think about it. It gets it underground due. So I said like Eric, plenty of stuff oxidizes, so does mud in fine small fractions solutions with the iron and other metals, which could be proven with the probes, could possibly oxidize after eruption. So a gray color mud previously heated underground comes out, and oxidation is a matter of time. So the gray mud immediately starts getting oxide contact, and starting to change color towards the rusty, lead, light red or yellow color. After several rains, this compound should become similar to clay. And this is what we actually observe around the mud volcanoes. I'm going to be, visiting one probably in a couple of weeks, and probably try to picture it. But I have pictures of mud volcanoes, so we have just write me in the comments if you're not familiar with it. I make a special video on mud volcanoes. Okay, so this is actually the question. Second thing that I wanted to talk about is the letter that I received because of my Instagram. People try to spam me with this application of affiliate partner. So I went to their website, and this is what I see. It's like an affiliate program, and so they let you post, do the post on Instagram and stuff like this, and so they check at it, and this is what they promote. So you log in the fuel program, affiliate program, and they give you money, start earning money for promoting our business to your audiences. Okay, so I supposed to promote it. I don't even know them, who the fuck they are actually, but I have to promote them to make money. So people totally crazy sending me shit.
Всем привет, с вами
Because
председатель.
we have this Russian channel, Председатель СНТ, and I referred to him a couple of times. He also, has affiliate program in recommending different websites, and this is what he does in front of his videos. We call it integration, advertisement integration. So he's like promoting one website, which is like training your brain with with fun. So you go there, you pay them a little money, and they give you a bunch of games for you practicing your brain and stuff. So this is kind of okay, but sometimes he promotes other stuff like a shop of Russian clothes and stuff like this. So like if we go here, we can see that he's a star model in this Russian shop, and these are natural clothes actually. So if you guys have somebody has a natural clothes brand or something like this, I can promote it for you. So I can promote good stuff, and if you support my channel with the some percent from the sales, whatever, I can do that. Well, it's not a big problem for me, but I'm not gonna be supporting some crazy affiliate programs or whatever. So it's like it's not for me. Or video games that make people pay for like free video game, but you go there and you find out that you're supposed to pay to you gather something better or get some premium account or whatever. So it's not my my type of activity. Okay, and we go to my Instagram eventually if we talk about it. I think we should talk about this picture. It looks like people excavating from this ancient house, ancient mansion, and exactly looks like clay. And those underground floor, one underground floor is buried, and we have the another underground floor, which is underground from this underground. So so it's like two basement floors, and we have something here. I don't know if they excavated it or not, but it looks like they're doing something like excavation here. Okay, we'll have a closer look. So totally excavating and trying to find out what's underground. Okay, next one. Here's what I've been talking about. If the mud volcano is erupting, or some type of mud fountain, we can call it whatever, mud volcano, mud fountain, mud flow, it comes from underground through those holes that miners probably left, or maybe some cracks of the crust. I don't know if we have even if we have a crust, but something like that we have underneath, because miners mine what's underneath, and they probably leave a lot of holes And I got a promise, I've got a bunch of videos about mining. If you haven't looked, check it out. You understand that there plenty of mining was going on, and that's why we see trees like this, because all this mud could be oxidizing and having like this clay type of yellow color. Okay. What we have here is the frozen mud, and we see this elephant head. Was mammoth head and mammoth bones here. Looks like pretty much very very good contained. Okay, that's why we see some stuff like this when people were making bricks of something from those rivers and lakes, making those huge blocks, because you can make concrete from this fine particle clay. As you can make bricks, you can make if it's a gray color, you can make something like a dust from it after you dry it out, and then make cement and make concrete. It depends on what type of metals that do they have inside. So if you have more aluminum, it become more grain. If it has more iron, it becomes more red, and stuff like this. So you can even make chemical reactions, and that's why we see a bunch of this stuff. Well, people cleaning the rivers in the 20th century, because we had a bunch of problems with floodings, and probably some regions still do, because they haven't cleaned the rivers. All the rivers were clean before the flood of the mud. So the mud flood is also, you know, making those Venice channels and all this stuff. And all, it just eventually comes out to be, you know, dirty like this if you don't clean it up, because all these fine particles are in the air and they just still falling down as dust. When you have a crystallization of what was, you know, some type of silicon based material, you have you have it as fine as sand, but the mud comes from underground and it is looking like this. Eventually, when it falls down with those dust storms, and we have those dust storms in plenty of regions, we've been recording them, but not as the cause of the mud flood. These are the fallout, the post effect of the mud flood, because in dry areas, all this fine particle dust just won't. All this fine particle mud is separates due to the heat and dryness, and so it like becomes very light and can be pulled up with the air, and that's why we have it. It looks like an ash actually when it's dry. If you don't have water, rains, it eventually dries out to be like a very light powder. Yeah, and that's why we have all those buried pictures, because people found out, returned to the areas after like 50 years, 30 years after the floods, and found that the houses look like this, exactly like this. That's what I was trying to tell you people today. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you later.